Good shit. There it is. Boom!
Oh. That's it, boy. Whoa, yo, you've been trained nicely. Ah, nice and easy, the boys, Mike. Yes! Mike, 2 fingers, please. Ah, yeah. Nick, we too good. Sorry.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. It has been a long time. I don't know if we even did this. We went this entire season having all 5 of us at the desk at the same time. But welcome back, Dad.
It's nice to be here.
What happened with you?
It's been a long summer, very, very long summer at work, and then of course you know what happened to Grandpa. And my father died, and so we were in and out of the hospital, and so hopefully in the next week or so we can get back to normal.
Anto, the people thought that we kicked him out. They thought you chased him down.
Well,
can you confirm
I
that
was this close to kick him out, but then I felt sorry for him, and then I said, you know what, he's a keeper.
Gaetano's a hot commodity. He's wanted everywhere, so it's hard to take his time.
You're not in charge.
I am in charge.
We can't afford this guy's day rate over here. That's why we can only bring him on the important
I
times.
kind of felt bad for him. I said, keep the kid.
Listen, Dad, I got to ask you. We'll start off with this. Juventus and Inter, they're getting back into their ways. Maybe Juventus is a little premature. They've only won 2 games, but it's against Torino, it's against Empoli. But it feels like on the horizon, they've got Chiesa and Pogba back. Inter, even though Lautaro Martinez said that they're out of the Scudetto race already, Inter seem to have things rolling. Do you think both of them will still compete with the rest of the Serie A?
Of course. In the long run, those the big teams, they find a way. They're going to find a way to get back to the winning, and they win 5-6 games in a row, and they're going to be on the top 4 again. And you see, Udinese started very well. Atalanta started very well. But what happened to Udinese, And so what happened to Atalanta? In the long run, the big teams will come through.
Pete, what do you think? Your boy Lautaro, is this a little Mourinho mind games from him?
Well, listen, I think also it's a result of how Inter has been playing. You're not going to win the Scudetto giving up this many goals. So I think this is a problem that Inter still have to fix. So I think Lautaro is being very realistic. I think Inter will be there, but they have to start putting in the performances that we have seen in the recent games. I have to say we've seen a change, but defensively we have to do better. So yeah, I agree. If we're gonna let in 3 goals a game the way that we've been doing, it's not happening. You want me to say something different?
I'm waiting for the ticking time bomb.
I wasn't given the permission to talk, so that's why. Can I talk?
I thought you were the boss.
All right, listen. You want to know my opinion?
Yeah,
I think it's good to have $1 and a dream, like you guys have it.
Okay.
All right. I think I am going to make a prediction right now.
Okay. Give me
There is 1 or 2 of the big 4 that we always choose. They're going to be out.
When you say top 4, you mean the 4?
Or the usual 4.
Inter, Juve, and Milan, and who's the 4th one are you considering?
Well, Napoli.
Napoli, not Roma.
Not Roma, no.
Okay.
1 of the top 4 is going to be out. Okay? And it's going to be the place is going to be taken either by Udinese, Lazio, and maybe Roma. No, maybe Udinese or Lazio. Roma, I don't think they have the team. But I have to be honest with you, and one of them could be Juventus.
What do you think about Juventus?
More Juventus than Inter.
A lot of maybes and
I like to see both out. Don't get me wrong. I like to see them both out. But you guys to have actually the pretension that you can still fight for the Campionato, I don't think so.
All right, how about we say it like this? So many teams have been impressive this year, but you're the reigning champions. Milan are the reigning champions. Who gives you the biggest fear in terms of taking that throne away from you? As you guys know, no one brings you closer to Serie A than OneFootball. They are back with more digital video moments. But this week, it's not just from the last round of Serie A. We are going back to the days, the great days of Serie A.
A blast from the past, right, Marco?
It's true.
There we go. And we got amazing stuff. We love calcio now, but calcio back then, we're going to get a little nostalgic for the people that watched it. So there's going to be some incredible digital video moments for players like we got Montella, Careca, Signori,
Vieri, Crespo, Van Basten.
The greatest striker of the
Anto would
90s.
go crazy for Van Basten right now. But
Anto
yeah,
would
the
not
top-
know how to.
top
He
ones.
would get very mad if he got anyone but a Milan player. But
Exactly.
this is your chance, guys. The link is in the top of the description. Today, if you're watching this Tuesday, October 25th, they are now available. Greatest strikers of Serie A. See who you get. Link is at the top of the description.
Check it
Thank
out.
you for OneFootball for sponsoring our podcast. And now let's go back to the show.
I have to be honest with you. Napoli, yes, right now. But I don't see Inter as a threat. I don't see Juventus as a threat. I don't see Atalanta as a threat. I don't see any other team so far now. But I have hope that Napoli at some point they're gonna slip up. They're gonna slip up. They cannot really sustain this kind of winning, and they're gonna slip up. I mean, 1 or 2 injuries like AC Milan has been having. Not that I wish them bad. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather see Napoli winning, but they're not gonna sustain this winning streak. So I see them. They're gonna come down and want to retake the lead of the Campionato, because we have been proven that even without major missing, checker pieces, we still can compete. We can compete on the Serie A. In Champions League, we've been penalized. I'm not going to be here crying and complaining, but we're still on. We're still running. And I think we're going to go not far, but I can see AC Milan going through the quarter.
We'll talk about Champions League after. I guess we'll start with your Milan. Why don't we start with your Milan? You won 4-1. Right? It was 4-1 against Monza.
Yeah.
Is that what it ended?
Yeah.
Brahim Diaz getting 2 goals. I will give you credit because you're going through a tough moment with like lots of players injured. Magnan again pulled up with a new injury, but you're still being able to win games. You're happy with the team?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not running a full 8-cylinder. We're just running up on 4. So we need to change a little bit of fuel and the carburation. We need to inject a little bit more air into the engine. And with the air, you see that all 8-cylinder, they're going to start to... boom, boom, boom,
AC?
boom, boom. Yeah, AC. Yeah, 8-cylinder, AC. You get that? Okay, you got it. I give you a lot of credit. You pick up the joke. But anyway, we are there and we're not going to leave. Okay? So the burden is on you guys. And we're playing relaxed. We don't feel any pressure. We're coming from behind. We are outside looking in.
The biggest thing that I learned from the Milan game, I think, after a great, comfortable win, I'd say for the most part, is I think Brahim cemented himself instead of CDK in that starting lineup, where a lot of people expected CDK to be starting, but it seems like the fire under Brahim that ignited him for having someone like him fight for a position really excelled him to play as a better player, and he's been very good ever since. Almost since the beginning of the season, I'd say for the most part. So, Anto, I just want to say, are you surprised at all with that, or did you expect something else?
Because this is what Maldini has created. Maldini has created a squad that is competing for the starting position all the time. Not only the CDK is fighting with Brahim Diaz, everybody's fighting. Now we have Ciao, which is Tiao with the T, you pronounce Ciao. He's going to be another one that is going to be helping AC Milan on defense. Kajer or Kajer, whatever you want to call him, it's on and off because the age is catching up with him. We have Calabria out, but nevertheless, we can use Tomori, we can use Kalulu. We have a lot of options over there. Before, we didn't have this kind of luxury. And we got all of this extra top-of-the-line player because we discovered them from the youths and we bought them from the flea market at a very cheap price.
So was De Catalare overhyped?
No, not yet.
It was not cheap.
Yeah, the Catalare is not overhyped.
What do you think he's overhyped? Anyone over
No,
here?
it's not.
So the kid, I mean, he's a young kid. He's playing in a big stage. I think he's a little bit timid. Maybe he's a little bit shy. And he came in, and of course, when you play in the big stage, you're expected to do a lot. And maybe it was when he was playing in his previous team, it was a little bit more relaxed and there was no pressure. And now, if you don't perform and you don't do the things that people expect you to do, when you miss a goal, like Mbappe misses a goal, okay, all right, he missed a goal, but he missed a
Good one, yeah. That was Sunday.
I think an
empty
open
net. Empty
so
net.
now all of a sudden, this kid. I mean, everybody can miss the goal.
But it's also because the rest of his season, he hasn't done anything so far this season.
But he's got the pressure because he came in with certain expectation. So I think
He's doing well.
when I saw the first couple of games that he played, I mean, I saw him seeing things that I didn't see. You know, his vision, and he makes certain passes. I say, "Oh my God, you know, this kid is really." But then when you start and you're missing something, and the pressure comes a little bit on you, yeah, you have to be a little bit concerned. But he's going to come out of it.
I saw a video of him missing that chance. They had an angle. The Italian channels had an angle of him, and they just followed him afterwards. His head was complete. He just walked off to the side. He put his hands on his face.
Yeah.
After the game, he walked straight into the tunnel when everyone was celebrating the win. The pressure is it's on.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling the pressure. I think the thing is there was a lot of hype about this transfer to Milan because it took a very long time for him to get there. If you remember, like actually from when it was pretty much the start of the summer to then all the way at the end where Milan were finally able to capitalize and buy him outright because there was a change of ownership and so on. But I think you have to be able to give him the opportunity to make the mistakes. We have already 2 players that play within Milan. We'll highlight Tonali, who had an average, maybe below average first year, and then was able to take the reign of the Milan midfield last year, and then obviously this year continue to do so. So, Tonali was already coming from within a Serie A, within Brescia, knowing the league. So for a lot of these players coming from different leagues, there's a lot to learn of the Italian league and Serie A. And it's not to say that one league is better than the other. It's just a different style and a different approach to the game. Obviously, when you play in Milan, there's high expectations. You know, you're supposed to do everything perfect or you're going to hear it. You know, it's just the reality of the team that you play in. So when one thing goes wrong and a second thing goes wrong, it kind of creates that domino effect. And I agree with Gaetano. When you first watched him play, I mean, he didn't have that stress or maybe that pressure on him, and he was amazing. I think the passes, you can definitely see he has a lot of skill. And I think for Milan, and I think Pioli is the right man to be able to say, don't worry, you know, you have the time on your hand to make something out of yourself. And then obviously Brahim Diaz, the performance that he put up versus Monza. I mean, the second goal was a beauty. To be able to turn so quick and hit that ball like that, you know, you can't take away his position on the starting 11.
Let me just say something, okay, to finish up with this CDK. The kid has got talent, obviously, because AC Milan will not really go all the way out to just fight to get the kids, because there was a long, you know, negotiation with his former team. But he's surrounded with the right people. The people that he surrounded, Pioli and company, they surrounded this kid here. They're going to put him on the position to excel. So all of this expectation is actually better. It's in a long run is going to benefit the kids, because right now he's trying to find his niche on the field. It's a position that is very, very critical, where a lot of people, they move left and right. You see Leao before, he used to just lurching on the left-hand side. Right now, you see Leao on the center, you see on the middle. Theo Hernandez, it's a left center, you know, fullback. Now you see that it's moving to the center. I see a lot of moving parts on AC Milan that they do not give reference to anybody. And this kid here is going to find the perfect niche to put everybody to shame. And I will give it to you starting for tomorrow. Tomorrow, he might score.
What's happening?
Let me ask you a simple question.
Tomorrow is going to be the first goal.
I never seen Theo on the center.
I did. You're not watching TV. I didn't. He doesn't start on the center, but from time to time,
let me ask you a question.
Through the center of
So
the
does
field.
every player, though. Every player moves around.
Let me ask you a question. What's his position?
Who?
De Catalare.
We're talking about.
It's a playmaker. It's mezzala, mezza punta. It's just behind the
Trequartista.
No, it's not. It's a number 10. Yes, that's his position.
Yeah, it's trequartista, no?
What's his position?
Yeah, right behind the striker.
Okay, but I've seen him play as a center forward.
He did play as a false nine.
With his back to the goal, which he didn't do too good.
There he
It was assigned a position, but it's not his job.
So what's?
It's not his job. That's not his position.
And why
It's
did
not your
Pioli
position.
put him there?
Well, because he had no Giroud.
You know where I think he could
He had
play
no
though?
Giroud that day.
I think he could honestly play as
He didn't have Giroud.
in a 3-man midfield as the more attacking midfield with less responsibility going back. Like that's where I see him. As you know, Tonali and Benacer, they're really good in the defensive side. I think he could maybe drop back another 10 meters and then occupy in the 4-3-3.
In the 4-3-3?
In the 4-3-3, yeah. And him play
in the 4-3-3, you have...
No, but everyone has players like that. Like a De Bruyne. You know where De Bruyne plays? That's where I kind of see him fitting in. De Bruyne doesn't always just stay in that attacking midfield position. No, he does like a mezzala, like a tuttocampista all over the pitch. Yeah. I think he can get there. I agree with you. He sees the vision, and I think that everyone's judging very quickly now because of the price tag, but eventually he'll get there.
4-3-3 is one of the three.
One of the three.
So the center forward is already taken. Leao is
one of the
already
three
taken.
in the midfield.
The 4-3 in the midfield?
Yeah, it's next to Tonali and Benacer.
Yeah.
Or Krunic, whichever he uses.
I think it would be. I don't know if he can defend that well. On the 4-3-3, the three in the middle, you got to be able to defend well.
He's not physical either.
I would see him on the 4-2-3-1 on the 3.
Yeah, that's where he plays right now.
That's what he plays now.
Yeah, that I would see. You know, Leao on one side, Messia, whoever on the other side, and him in the middle, and he's next to the center forward so that he can.
Well, that's where he's been. Let's move on. Let's go to what team we want to go to next?
Inter, you want to do?
Go. Take over, Mike.
Okay. I guess we got to talk. This is an interesting game, too. I think this, honestly, the game of the... Why are you saying that? This
interesting game?
I think this was the best game of the weekend. This was incredible. It had everything. Was it
controversy, you mean? Controversy.
No, just in general, it was fun. It was back and forth. There was a lot of goals. Stuff that didn't happen. Expected to happen, didn't think was going to happen. There was penalties. I think it was great. And Inter ended up winning it at the end, at the Franchi, 4-3 from a Venuti mistake and it hits in, and they ended up winning it. And I thought, for the most part, this game was a little difficult just because I feel like Fiorentina deserved more than they got.
Oh, they 100% deserve more.
I think they were very unlucky to escape with a defeat. They expected at least a draw. They played very well, and they weren't scared at all. They were pressing even when it was tied to go for a win. And, you know, that's just, at the end of the day, that's how the sport is. But just for the spectacle of Serie A, if you saw this as a neutral or someone that doesn't watch Serie A and seeing this, like, wow, this is incredible. Fiorentina is not, you don't think Fiorentina is like, you know, top 4 team or whatever. But seeing this, I was like, this is a great showing for the league overall.
Before we get into the controversy, though, because I don't want anyone to skip there. Yeah, let's talk about the style. Because I think one thing I want to say, besides the penalty, non-penalty, whatever that is, I like the attitude of Fiorentina, especially coming out in the second half, that they wanted to go for it and they wanted to attack. The penalty gave them good motivation, and I feel like they needed to just believe in themselves a little bit more, and that's what we saw when they came back from 2-0 down, because when you go down to Inter 2-0, for a lot of teams, the game is over. I like the courage from the 11 on the pitch that believed in Italiano's style to at least go for it. We know they've struggled with goals. That's been the thing that's hurt them the most. Their center forwards are not scoring. And I think from the positive side of things, the attitude, and then also Cabral and Jovic, who Jovic scored a great goal, both getting on the score sheet, is one of the positives from Fiorentina to take away. But yeah, take the Inter side, Pete.
Well, I mean, the first 15 minutes, Inter put in a great performance. Obviously, when you're able to score 2 goals in the way that they did it,
15 minutes.
Yeah, you take your hat off. I mean, Lautaro looked absolutely possessed. It was an unbelievable goal that he scored. He really made Martinez Cuarto, was also an Argentina international, look foolish. Really bad. Yeah. So it's one of those things that Lautaro is. I know a lot of people claim him to be streaky, and it is true that like when he's off, and when he's on, he's really on, and he can score a bunch of goals real quick. But he is a catalyst for this Inter team, and we need him to always be able to score goals. And then Barella, I think, similar to Lautaro, when it's so important for him to be a man of the match or give that performance week in and week out, because the team works in a whole different way when he is on the money. And like I said, those 2 guys end up scoring the goal. And, Inter looked like they were in a very good position in a very tough and hostile environment, right, at the Franchi in Firenze. So, the game started great, but I think also if we look at Inter, this is a little bit of a tale of how this season has played out, where, you know, at times we can play really good football, and then at times we kind of turn off. And, you know, there was, aside from the controversies, I think Fiorentina played an amazing game. Yeah. They kept to what is, you know, Italiano style of football. High press, very physical match. And I think both sides, you saw there was like a real battle on the field. And then Fiorentina also had a touch of brilliance. I mean, aside from the penalty goal, Icone's goal was really, really good. Acerbi way too slow to close down. You know, and Inter cannot find themselves tied versus a Fiorentina 2-2 after being up 2-0 in 15 minutes. So that's the only thing that I was very, very upset about, is the fashion in which we were not able to close this game. And so going back to Lautaro's point, you're not going to win a Scudetto if you can't defend and maintain a lead. And then obviously, you know, I don't know, you want to get into the controversy? What
Anyone
do you
have
want
anything else? Football side?
Okay.
Football side, do you have anything about Fiorentina or Inter?
No, I'll wait for the controversy. I think the right score would have been 3-3. That would have been the right score. I think Fiorentina was a little bit unlucky to lose this game.
Okay, first one. The penalty kick for Fiorentina. Di Marco comes in with this high karate chop and completely hits Bonaventura in the top of the knee. Penalty kick is given. Di Marco is not given not even a yellow card. Red card, guys.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's easy. 100%.
Solid red card.
That's a red card.
Solid.
You could have
Red
really...
card.
Pete, are you arguing?
Didn't I almost walked out of the studio? Me and Mike, we were watching the game. I said, this is disgusting.
Hold on. Peter's gonna... What are you gonna say?
The only thing I want to say is
Uh-oh.
the foul, definitely red card offense. But how many times do we see a foul after the fact and then they don't call it a penalty because the guy got a shot off? Now, I'm not saying I like it, but we see it time in and time out that somebody goes to take a shot, gets pushed or gets kicked after the fact that he took the shot, and there's nothing. I think the fact that it was such a bad foul that he was not able to walk away with it, and I am really surprised that if you're going to call the penalty, it's a red card, because it's dangerous play. It's brutal.
If you were the referee, what would you have given?
You have to give a red at that point if you give the penalty.
The fact that he checked the VAR, that he went and checked and he gave the penalty and he didn't think to even give a yellow card was the most shocking thing.
That was a weird thing about it.
We've had it confirmed by also referees that say same thing. There's no double jeopardy, because this was something that kept going around, was that there's double jeopardy, which you hear oftentimes with goalkeepers, right? That they don't want to penalize, give a red card.
Much.
In this case, because of how foul it was, how much of a foul it was, it should have been a red card.
I agree. I agree with that, because I think a penalty and a red card is too much. But on this case, you could have broke the guy's leg. The way he went in, this is really dangerous. That's a red card.
Gaetano, let me remind you of what
Anything
happened
different?
just recently on AC Milan Chelsea.
This guy was brings it back.
AC Milan Chelsea.
Tomori.
Technically, Tomori, he pulled a little bit the jersey of this guy.
That one they say because last man.
Let me finish. But he pulled the jersey a little bit more. Then he raised his hands. The guy went through. He took the shot. He didn't score.
No,
penalty and red card.
Yeah, no,
It's a different situation.
No.
Different situation.
It's a denying a goal scoring opportunity and last man, but we agreed. We all said here that should not have been a red card for Tomori. So keep them separate.
We already.
So this one, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Inter should have been with 10 men against Fiorentina.
For sure. That was way
at
too dangerous.
The 2-0 mark. Now the one that's gets interpreted a little different, and we've already sent in our group chat, and I know we're going to disagree on this one. The penalty kick for Inter, where Lautaro Martinez is sent a great ball. He pushes the ball to the left. There's talk if Terracciano touches the ball to make the save. The referee thinks it's offsides, goes and checks. He calls it a penalty kick for Inter, and they end up scoring this goal. Now, I watched the replay. I sent you guys a really good angle of it. For me, Terracciano touches it, but he touches it very slightly with his fingertips. That for me doesn't do enough to change the direction of the ball in any significant way. And I was okay with that being given a penalty because I didn't think Terracciano touched the ball enough.
Where is it written down that you have the touch, the percentage of the finger or the hands that has to be on the ball?
You need to make a significant deflection of the ball.
Where does he say that?
I mean,
Where does he
I
say
think
that?
it's first, whatever it
Where
touches
does he
first.
say
I'm
that?
not
I don't
sure
think
if
it's
there's a
part of the
Yes, it
significant-
needs to be a significant touch.
I think he
I'm not
touched now with
sure.
just one finger. He touched with the 3 or 4 fingers. He changed the slide. You can laugh as much as you want. Pete.
I'm laughing at how you said it.
I wanted to
He touched
see
it with
you.
3 or 4 fingers.
I wanted
How do you know
to
he
see
touched it with 5 fingers?
I wanted to see you. When the time is gonna come that is gonna be against you, that you're gonna be bitching and moaning. This is 2 presents that you've been given that you didn't deserve.
What about the
it.
3rd one?
Okay?
Anyway.
So that was not a penalty. That was not a penalty, hands down. You might want to interpret as much as whether the ball changed this much direction or that much. That's besides the fact. Terracciano, he had to make a save. He went out. He touched the ball. That's what counts. That was not a penalty.
By the way, most professional referees agree that it was not that it was a penalty. Most professional referees say Terracciano's touch on the ball was not significant enough to cause any deflection and to make the save. What do you say, Pete?
I was always taught that if the goalkeeper touches the ball, gets the ball first, then it's not a penalty.
Which he did.
That's what, yeah, exactly. So I was so surprised that they actually called a penalty because that's how I interpreted the rule. I did not know that within the rule book, it's a matter of changing a direction or did he, because that leaves a lot of gray space.
Yeah, that's the thing with that.
With that kind of call. And especially when it's a bang play, the goalkeeper coming out like that, it's really the only time within the soccer game that you're allowed to go out like that. Because if you think of anything else, like a defender that goes in to make a tackle and slides through somebody, it's almost always going to be a penalty or almost always going to be a foul with the intent of how fast the goalkeeper goes out and goes for the ball. So I think it's very weird that you're going to say, did it change direction? Yeah. Did this happen? Did that happen? I've always seen it as the goalie touched the ball first, he gets the benefit of the doubt. But, if professional referees are seeing it a different way, and obviously we heard the different people discuss it and explain the reason why, because Lautaro touched the ball in that direction and he would have the advantage, to be able to score the goal. And even if you slightly touch it, you still go through him because he would have been able to still get that ball after the fact.
What do you say?
Well, the part about, and I'm surprised why nobody asked, the part about can he go get the ball again, that I'm a little bit surprised because if I am inside the area, but this is the area, I am on the edge. Let's say I'm right here. Let's say I'm right here.
Yeah.
You got to pick it up.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's say that I'm right here with the ball.
Talking on my.
And this is the defender.
Thanks, P.
This is I'm right here and this is the defender. I'm going away. I'm going almost out of the box and I trip him. It's a penalty. I have no chance of scoring a goal there. But it's still a penalty. I kick the guy, and it's a penalty. So anyway, to make it simple, because there's so many interpretations, and this referee interprets this way, and the other interprets this way. You got to make it simple. To me, if you go out as a goalkeeper and you get the man first, it's a penalty. If you get the ball, it's not a penalty. Make it as simple as that.
Gaetano, I think I agree with you 100%. There's too much.
Yeah.
There's too much for interpretation. It should just be black and white, and
if I'm going out and I get your legs, if I go out and I get the ball, and then I get your legs.
Not penalty.
It's not a penalty because I went for the ball. I mean, where am I going to go after that?
It shouldn't matter if you have 2 fingers or 1 finger or fingernail.
But it does matter because then if you're inside,
but it's going to be so much harder.
1 second, but it does matter because if you're inside of the box on light fouls, right? When you're touching his shirt, when we start doing this, then when he's touching his shirt, then it's always if you want to do black and white, then every time somebody touches a shirt, then you have 100 penalties a game. That's the problem with doing it black and white. Yeah. For me, when you see it again, and I sent you guys a very good one. The guy gets it with his fingernails. I mean, the big thing is comparing this one to the one in the Roma game. But you watch Rui Patricio. Rui Patricio hits the ball completely. He completely, without a doubt, changes where that ball is going. So that one should not be a penalty.
You want my take? I'll tell you what. I agree with him almost 100%. The only thing that Gaetano is missing is this fact that Lautaro's momentum will never allow him to finish up, even God forbid, the Terracciano didn't touch the ball. His momentum was too far. He went on top of the goalkeeper to the point that he couldn't even walk anymore. He had to actually flip off the goalkeeper.
You know what we'll do?
Lautaro's momentum will have never allowed him to score if he didn't touch the ball. If what's his name? The goalkeeper didn't touch the ball. No way.
So this is what we'll do. We'll take a pause and let's watch it again.
Gaetano is right.
It's fine.
You can take as many momentum as you want. He's right and I'm right. Okay, that's why he's right, because I'm right.
I'm gonna watch it again for myself.
Look the momentum of Lautaro. He can never, even if Terracciano,
that is not.
even if Terracciano doesn't touch the ball, he can never score.
I will double down on this
what?
right
Make
now.
a move.
Watch
That's
this.
a still picture.
Relax. What does he touch? The ball, guys. This is a save. Guys, if that's a save from Terracciano, what world are we living in?
But it doesn't have to be a save.
Yes,
it's
it does. He needs to get a significant touch on the ball.
He touched the ball.
He doesn't.
He
doesn't
the
change
ball.
it at all.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't touch it.
He doesn't at
Look
all.
Look Lautaro's legs. Look Lautaro's legs. He's already jumping.
He's getting fouled.
What foul? What foul? He jumped.
He got hit after.
Look at this.
He had no more
Guys,
momentum.
That is not Terracciano making a save.
Gaetano,
That
look
is Terracciano
Gaetano,
like grazing the ball by mistake.
Look Lautaro's legs already off the ground before he even touches. He's not getting fouled.
Forget about that. It's not about that.
His legs are already off the ground.
It's about, does Terracciano actually make a save that changes the ball? For me,
he did.
For me, he does not.
Well, the
For
ball's
me-
also
and
going
now-
that way too, though.
Exactly.
He made the first touch.
Marco, you are
Now,
a grown
so it's harder
up.
to
You
see.
can admit you did
Yeah.
a mistake
Look,
in
look, 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 look.
interpretation.
Guys, watch this. Look at this one, for example. Look how much Roy Patricio
look-
gets on that ball. Look
Oh,
how
yeah,
much
okay, there's a
Roy
difference.
Patricio
Yeah,
gets
for
on that
sure.
ball.
Yeah, but that's
No
not
penalty.
fair.
Let me see. I think I got it here. Look at this. You see it really good here. This is
And no,
Roy
look
Patricio.
Lautaro's legs.
This
Look,
is not,
they're
this is
already
not
off the
Lautaro.
ground.
Do you see
without
how much
Terracciano
he
touching
gets
him.
on the ball?
penalty.
For me, it's about the momentum of what actually makes a change. So that's how I see it.
Is that
I think
momentum
that
going to
they
make...
made-
It's
I
just
think that
like a
they-
situation.
Answer
made
my
the right call.
question. Is the momentum that Lautaro had was good enough for him to finish up and score? Yes or no?
I don't understand the question.
Okay. Before Terracciano touches the ball, whether he touches it or whether he doesn't, his legs are off the ground and he's falling on
Because
the
he's about
floor.
to get hit. He's literally about to run into Terracciano.
Running in, it doesn't mean... You just said it. He's running into Terracciano.
Yeah, but he has the advantage. He has the
What
ball.
advantage?
He has the ball. He's
Doesn't matter. Terracciano touched the ball before. His momentum, it will never make him score. It will never be able to put
I
himself
disagree.
in the
Okay, I
position to
disagree.
finish up.
I disagree.
Okay? To put it on the net. That's wrong, and you're right.
Okay,
You're right.
we just came back from watching it again, from a little break. We do once again now that we saw the slow-mos. For me, correct call was not. It was a penalty. Mike,
I think.
which one? Just quick. Come on, we stayed too long on this.
Say no.
Which one is it?
It's not.
He touched the ball for me, and I feel like if we leave all this, there's gonna be too much gray area. So I don't think it should be a penalty.
No penalty.
penalty.
No penalty.
Okay, let's take a moment now. Our
With 3-on-2,
Siag is
in
our
other words, you lost
sponsor.
your case.
Siag is our sponsor for this year. Mike, you got to make the coffees since Juventus won this week. Mike makes it our coffee.
I'm against Juve all of a sudden.
No, but that means everyone else won because
okay,
Juve is the
that's
only
fair.
one that would have lost.
true,
So
that's true.
Do
Okay,
you
I'll
want to
make a-
mention the Dzeko?
what's Checo?
What happened with Zeko?
The goal, the fourth goal. Because I think that was something that Italiano brought up, no?
Oh, the foul on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think in Premier League, never a foul. In Serie A, we've seen it called
on the
before.
fourth goal. Yeah.
But I think the reason why it wasn't maybe called to VAR was because the play of the referee's call stood on that case.
For me, that's not a foul.
It's
Dzeko.
light, but I've seen Serie A, they've called it before.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that. And again, for me, Fiorentina deserved absolutely at least a tie, and 100% DiMarco should have been sent off. So
And I want to say give credit to the Fiorentina fans because I think for the whole game they were supporting the team and you heard the roar of the stadium. So obviously it comes down to also what is on the field, and I think Fiorentina, especially in this year, besides the Inter game, they've lost games that they should have been able to get points. So they might not look good on the table just now, but I think moving forward they'll be all right.
So now we are going to do our Siag player of the round. All right. So I want you each to choose a player. This is sponsored by Siag, where Mike is going to make our coffee. And over our coffee, we're each going to say and give a sentence or two on why you think this player was the best player of the round. Very good, Mike. Thank you, Mike. So who wants to start off on who is the? I'll start off with who is the best player while you guys all think.
Don't pick up anybody from Juventus.
A little salute to this. Thank you, Siag. If you guys want to buy Siag coffee, the link is in the description below.
And if you use code IFTV20, Marco, do you know you get 20% off?
Oh no, I didn't know.
There you go. That's why it's in the link in the top description.
So my Siag player of the week
Cremoso
is going to Osimhen, because what a player to score the winning goal for Napoli, and also for his off-the-field attitude is why I'm giving it to him, because he has supported his teammates every single week. He gets a chance to start. He wasn't having a great match. He missed a one-on-one. He kept his head into it. His coach believed in him to keep him into there. He made that run, and the finish was off this chart. Osimhen, honestly, on and off the pitch, I really love him. And even that whole front line, the fact that Raspadori's running over and giving him a hug, they've created such a good unit. So Osimhen, player of the week.
That's a good one.
Mark,
I actually had Osimhen too, but good thing I wrote someone else down just in case.
Oh, you wrote it down? What is written down?
I've written down on notes.
Oh, so.
I'm
Did you take your notes?
I'm gonna give it to Lautaro. He got a beautiful. I knew people was gonna do that. He scored a beautiful brace, and if he plays like this, Lukaku can take his time for a rehab and stuff like that, because he plays like he's possessed, like our boy Peter said before. And this is what Inter need if they wanna. We'll talk more about this if they really want to compete with Milan and Napoli at the end. So he's got to be on fire.
You know what we'll do, since we each stole each other? I started this one, then it's gonna go clockwise. We'll counterclockwise, whatever. Okay. Then he's gonna start first. I'll be last. We'll do it like that every week.
All right,
Antonio, you 100% are gonna be the one that never chooses the same as the rest of us.
Don't worry about it.
Who's your Milan player?
Origi.
Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz, no?
Origi.
Brahim Diaz, no.
A big bullet from outside of the box that he broke the net.
The game was already.
It doesn't matter.
I would have scored that.
It's il gesto tecnico. How do you say il gesto tecnico in English?
The technical gesture.
Indigestion.
The technique.
The technique, the timing, and the precision, and the left shot, the preparation, foot nearby the ball, boom. Bullet imprendibile. How do you say imprendibile in English?
Could not savable, unsavable.
Unsavable.
Okay. Who's yours, Pete?
Sorry.
Does it have to be a player? Can it be a coach?
Go for it.
Sarri. Look at how Lazio is playing.
Well, we said a player.
My God.
You know you're gonna become Mourinho.
Milenkovic Savic.
No, go for it.
No, but look how this Lazio team is playing. I mean, you see what it means to have Sarri a second year. Juventus, big mistake not keeping Sarri there, because this guy has Lazio playing on all cylinders. The way that they go forward is unbelievable. Even without Immobile, they've still been able to find someone. And playing with this falso nueve, you have so many great technical players that move around, and it's really a joy to watch Lazio. And lastly, no goals. They don't allow goals.
They don't concede a lot.
Provedel has been amazing, really good goalkeeper, and the defense with your reject Romagnoli, he's been playing amazing. So I have to give my hats off to Sarri and Lazio.
Until this guy named 5 players for a player of the week. You believe this?
Team of the week, boy.
So your player of the week is Sarri? Yeah. Yes or no?
Yes.
Aye.
Can't follow simple rules. What do we send these kids to college for?
I was impressed with Brahim. I mean, starting from midfield, and it's a little guy, and pressure all the way, and to take off, and with the pressure in the back, and the finish while he was falling on the ground was just it was unbelievable. he got speed, he got technique, everything. And then the second goal, beautiful shot on the corner. I think that this kid, he knows that there's somebody behind him, breathing on top of him, and I think he's doing very well.
Which goal was harder?
Oh, the first one.
Really? I like the second one.
Yeah.
As much as the first one was great, there was something about the second one, the beauty of his turn and the finish one time that personally
The first
I
was
loved.
tougher
But
though.
I feel like
He also had the Monza players like running away from him on the
I
first
feel
goal.
that a lot of players can take that shot, but the first one to start from midfield and to
that
go
takes skill.
all that and then to finish it.
To keep
wow.
the momentum
They were
and
both
to have
great.
all the people just pushing you and try to
I like Brahim.
stay mentally focused on.
I'm rooting for him. I think he's got the skill. He just, a lot of times he was pushed off the ball last year, and I think this year he's got the fire in his belly. Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about Lazio. Good shout out from Pete, because this Lazio side is unbelievable. Their win against Atalanta was a dominating performance. The second half, not as much, because I think both teams didn't really do much in the second half. But the first half, the football that Lazio play is some of the best, truly, some of the best in Italy. 5 goals conceded now in 11 rounds. That is not easy to do. And they score goals for fun. Without Ciro Immobile, Felipe Anderson stepped in, and the second goal that he scored was brilliant. Lazio on all cylinders. They are amazing, and I totally agree with you. The first thing that came to my mind is this is what, besides just time, this is what Sarri can do with time, but also with a lack of pressure. Because when he was at these big teams, when he was at Juventus, when he's at Chelsea, the only thing that matters there is immediate results. That's all they care about. Even when you win the Scudetto, it's not enough. It's why didn't you go further in Champions League? Why didn't we see this? Why didn't we see that? And he even admitted over the summer that he doesn't have a dream to do that anymore. It's not, for him, it's not about winning titles. It's getting young players. It's seeing what he could build with that. And I really think that Sarri is one of the best at that.
Yeah.
Building around a young core, guys that listen to him, guys who haven't won that much necessarily, but will buy into his philosophy. This is what he can bring to a team, and good job by Lazio to bring in those players that you mentioned, Romagnoli, Casale, Provedel, by the way, round 1, he was on the bench for Maximiliano. The only reason he got in is because Maximiliano got a red card in those first few minutes, and he has not put that spot down. Fantastic overall from Lazio.
Yeah, it's a good point for the Sarri, and I gotta say he surprised me for this match. First of all, I had Atalanta winning this game, and the way Lazio were playing, they played good without their star player Immobile. Seeing Felipe Anderson playing as a false 9 and them playing just fantastic football overall. But I don't want to I don't know if I'm taking away some credit, but Atalanta, I'm a little disappointed in them. I don't know if it's Lazio played so good and Atalanta played horrible, so it made Lazio shine more, because Atalanta couldn't even get a shot on target.
They didn't show up.
They looked.
They couldn't make a couple passes.
They had the thing is, they're having such a great season. If they won this, they would have been pushing for third. Right up there.
They were unbeaten before this.
And they look like a completely different team. So maybe it was a fluke game from Atalanta. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Lazio and stuff like that. Good stuff from them. But hopefully just a hiccup, because I think Atalanta, the way they've been playing, I really think they have a real chance to finish in the top 4, especially like we said in the past. They're not playing in Europe. But yeah, I want to see how it goes. And if Lazio can keep this up, this is the Lazio this is Sarri's Lazio that we've been talking about from last season's podcast. Go check it out when we were saying he needs at least 8-9 months to adapt. This could be the Sarri football that we were talking about. So good stuff on them.
The only thing I would add too that's different is that they're more pragmatic, in my opinion. Like, they're converting their chances when they get them.
Efficient?
They're extremely efficient, and they're not in the final moments of the match, final couple 15 minutes, they were okay with sitting back and with defending. They didn't have to die by their sword on, oh no, we always got to push guys forward. No. They sat back, they absorbed, they waited for Atalanta to just constantly be sending in crosses that didn't really do much. I think the one real opportunity went to Hateboer. They were okay with that, and for me, that's a good sign of maturity from a team.
I have a different take. I mean,
surprise.
Seriously,
tip my hat. I mean, the game looks pretty fluid right now, but I think it's more of the lack of Atalanta offensive offensive proveness right now, because Atalanta so far has won miserable games, 1-0 here, 2-1 here, 1-0. It's just it's not there. Zapata is not there. Muriel is struggling by himself. Even the last.
Lukman has been scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, I know, but they thank God that they found this Lukman. Besides him, who else is scoring? The defensive kid, the defender over there.
Cup Miners.
Yeah.
Cup Miners had like 4 goals.
Again,
They tied with you guys too.
Again, they're not.
1-1.
They tied with you
they
guys.
tied with us, but we're above Atalanta now.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say
Again,
that.
to me, like I said, at some point they're gonna starting to see that Atalanta is gonna slip back a little bit, and Lazio, I'm not that convinced that they have what it takes to
What
challenge.
doesn't convince you?
What
part doesn't convince you?
About who? Atalanta.
About Lazio.
The defensive. It's the defensive scheme. It's
The
not.
defense
They're
conceded
playing
5
well.
goals.
Doesn't matter now. Provedel has been doing miracles. He's been making miracles.
They're the best defense
You
right
just
now
don't
in
like
the league.
Romagnoli.
No, I didn't say that. You just named it. I didn't say a word about Romagnoli. I think defensively, when the tapes are gonna start to be analyzed, Lazio is gonna fall.
Okay. They're the best
through
defense in the league.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
So, just to put this in context, AC Milan has conceded more than double the amount of goals that Lazio have conceded.
We scored a lot more too.
Yeah. 9 more goals. Oh, no. No.
you've scored one more goal.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Well, Inter's allowed 17 goals, I believe. So just look at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
17.
I think Lazio, the biggest thing is that they're defensively sound. And if you want to win games, you need to make sure that you have your defense playing the way that they should be. And at the same time, the fluidity of this Lazio style of play is a joy to watch. I think you have a player like Pedro, who with Barcelona has won what he has, and then also that experience and the ability to find the pass, and then also have that youth from Zaccagni, who's really has a different style than Pedro, who's gonna go down your throat, that's gonna be able to cut in and try to make something happen with the intelligence of Milenkovic-Savic. I do not see how a team has not been able to put in a solid offer for this player, because every time I watch him play, he just never fails to amaze me. He's so creative, and he could also do the work off the ball as well. The technical ability, the physical ability, like he is a total package within a midfield, and I think any team, he would be a luxury for any team. So
you need 100 million.
I understand, but
You need 100 million for one leg.
We've seen a lot of teams in Premier League spend that number for players, and for defenders, nonetheless, Maguire. So at that point, it's like,
What about Grealish?
So, given that, I think also looking at Atalanta, Antonio has a fair point where the team isn't this well-oiled machine that we're so used to seeing. Like they've been able to win this year, but a lot of the games have been more of a hard-fought victory. Their physicality has reigned supreme compared to their flank play.
But they didn't even do that really. That's what
this game they
surprised
didn't.
me.
This game they didn't. So that's why I'm saying Lazio, I think, were just that much better. Could be Atalanta had an off day.
Yeah, I think it was
but
that.
Lazio also were playing, man.
Yeah,
The
no, they
ball
played
movement.
good. They played good.
Atalanta were running around and they couldn't get the ball.
So last year, I think I had Lazio in the top 4 team, because with the best midfielder, Immobile, that scores, always the leading scorer. This year, I don't think anybody saw this coming, because nobody put them, if I'm correct, nobody put Lazio in the top 4.
Everyone has Roma in the top 4 here.
So, and now
I have
Lazio
Roma.
So, and what you said before, it takes time for Sarri to develop, which is true. The short passes, the pressure, stay compact, all together, up, go
The
up.
triangles.
The triangles, that takes time. And maybe now, finally, if they have Immobile or they don't have Immobile, it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter for them,
Yeah.
because the style and the tactics and the way they move, it's always the same. I thought he was going to put Pedro as a false driver before the game, but then
He said why.
he said why.
He said because Pedro needs to be played the ball at his feet, and Philippe Anderson doesn't always need the ball at his feet. He could take it in space.
Okay, all right. So I guess you could call it now Sarri ball. I guess this is what this is what Sarri was about. But can he do it for the whole season?
Good question.
I have a question for you. Did Juventus give up on Sarri too quickly?
No.
Oh, wow. That was a
No,
quick one.
Sarri is not for Juventus. Like you said, Sarri is for this type of team, which they have to... He's selling something and they have to buy them. And I don't think the Juventus team was going to buy what he was selling. So it doesn't work.
They believe things two completely different ways. Juventus, it's winning is the only thing that matters. For Sarri, he doesn't care as much about winning. He cares about the how.
They also set him up for failure
but
too.
you
bro.
also
We'll only
got
have to
It
stop
would
it.
never have worked.
So, but
It never would have worked.
But they
the
didn't set
thing-
him up properly anyway.
The thing is, Juventus got Sarri. Why? Not because you weren't winning. You got Sarri because the fans were upset that
The
the
football-
game
the kind
was
of football,
boring and it was
yeah.
Allegri and everything else. You know, you failed or weren't able to get Guardiola, and you got, you know,
He was plan B.
yeah,
The wish
Plan C
version.
maybe.
Plan C.
So, but the guy still won you the Scudetto. So I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
you know, who did you have better? Pirlo,
Exactly.
and then even with Pirlo, you gave up on him so quickly. So that's why I say Juventus made a mistake, because if you get Sarri, he wins the Scudetto. Unless you have someone better and you're gonna really give the keys to the project, you should have kept him and given him the players.
But it was the players in the locker
But
room
I
that
think there
also
was
did
also-
not like his training sessions. They said that they were bored by them. They were mundane. They didn't understand what he was asking them to do. They didn't want to do those training sessions.
And this is the same Juventus that people are upset with right now, because the Juventus, unfortunately, they wanted to maintain the players that they had, but maybe they should have, little by little, started weeding out some of these guys.
The best thing that Sarri explained it perfectly. He said that when he was at Juventus, he realized in October that either he was going to play his football and get sacked, play his style and get sacked, or he was going to change his style, win the Scudetto, and still get sacked. Those were the two options that he came across, and him and his team said, let's just at least go win the Scudetto and put our pride aside. It was a marriage that would never work. It was so obvious that the philosophies, the things that they believe in, even down to like the way that they dress, the suit, what Juventus wants and stands for, they were never going to work. Just the fact that they wanted to buy into it and wanted to, it's like, you know, you got a round hole and you're trying to force a square peg into it. Simply was not going to work. Should Juventus have acted different, then it's a completely different story. But I think Sarri is very happy in a team like Lazio, where he could build and while breathing at the same time and not having that sort of pressure down his throat. One question for the group. Peter Curto.
Where does Sarri buy his cigarette butts?
I wasn't going to ask that.
From the Baccaria.
Peter.
What are we doing?
I have no idea.
Who plays a better style?
Okay.
Lazio or Napoli?
Oof. Aesthetics? I think Lazio. You said who plays a better style. I think
Yeah,
Lazio
it's
plays
different.
a better style. I think Napoli have the individual brilliance.
I can say Milan. But he said you said between the two teams, Lazio, Napoli.
This is my transition to talk about Napoli.
I would say.
Don't think so.
He's gonna hurt himself.
They're pretty much similar the way they play,
It's just
but
smoke coming out of
I
it.
think they're pretty much similar the way they play. But I see
Great answer.
Napoli, he's got the spark that Lazio is missing. Napoli has it all over the places.
So let's talk about Roma against Napoli. Interesting game where in the first half, Roma came out with lots of energy, lots of momentum. The fans and I think the players too, it almost felt like a final by the way that even 10 minutes in, Karsdorp is getting the fans to, to throw in. He's screaming to cheer them on. The fans before the game outside stopping the bus. So a lot of energy from the Roma side, constantly pressing, marking their man, going into foul and to make things hard. And I was pretty impressed with Roma's first half. They did not take a shot. They didn't do anything in the attacking phase. But what were they doing? They were trying to limit Napoli finding space. And they did that successfully because they could drop those 5 guys as the defenders. And it's extremely difficult for them. And you could see Napoli go up against a team that they didn't like to play against. They didn't like to get hit the way that they did. And I don't think that they've had to face a team like that. The problem is in the second half when Roma started to get these yellow cards, when the energy started to go down, and your only game plan is to make things dirty and is to really high press. When that's gone, you sort of don't have anything. And the thing about Napoli, which this is the week that my jaw was almost dropped that they came away with a win, because I thought for sure Roma was going to have to at least tie this game. They found a way to win in a game that they didn't like, and they have now shown us that they can win in the style that they want and in a style that they don't like. Either way, they find somehow they're able to win games. And deservedly, in my opinion, for the way that second half progressed. And in terms of positive football, Napoli won the game.
Yeah, Marco, I think I agree with you. I think the biggest talking point for this game is Napoli last year, the years before this, would have came out of this game without a win, with a draw. But they showed me, and I think a lot of people, showing, wow, this team, against all odds, they still manage to find a win. They play amazing football, still manage to get the win, get the 3 points against a defensive, gritty side like Roma, who don't like to concede. And we know how Mourinho plays, especially towards the end of the game, if he wants to preserve something and not concede. And another big point is for Osimhen and all the haters for Osimhen. Ever since he came back, he played in 3 games and he scored in all 3 of them. So there's a lot of people saying, oh, Napoli played better without Osimhen, this, that. But when Osimhen comes in, he showed that from nothing, he ended up scoring a spectacular goal. And Napoli are really showing, and all the people that are saying, oh, wait till January or February when Napoli are going to drop points. I think there's a different side. Spalletti's doing incredible. This team is doing incredible, and it's showing everywhere. They're oozing. They're probably the most informed team in Europe. They are the most informed team in Europe. And the most fun team to watch overall.
Well, they are a completely different side from past years, because they are now 11 games in a row in all competitions winning. 11 games in a row. This is a streak, and it's tied in their history.
For all time.
For all time. Yeah. There's only one other Napoli side to do this. They did 12. Or they could beat it with 12.
They could beat it.
So this is different than last year.
Let me just pick up from
Stay on Napoli
Mike,
though first.
Yeah, let's
and then we'll go to Roma.
Pick up from what Mike was saying.
Oh boy.
More of I will give more credit again to Osimhen for the beautiful goal that he scored, but I will discredit Smalling for the mistake that he made, because a defender of that caliber, you are in front, you have the momentum, you're in front of Osimhen, you let this guy here come in front of you with the ball still bouncing, you give the time to this guy here to connect in collo pieno, we say in Italy. Collo pieno means the top of your shoelace, you just take a bomb like that from the right hand side and you burn the goalkeeper. And this guy here, collo pieno is called. Gaetano, explain to him what
is it with the laces of your boot?
Yeah. So
collo pieno.
Boom.
Nice. I like that we teach a little bit.
Collo is a neck, but collo in this particular case is
like the neck of a shoe.
It's just the top of your shoe.
So understood it.
So it's more to me. I would discredit Smalling, because a defender of that caliber, you do not make a mistake like that. That's why you highlight more the proveness of this Osimhen, that this guy never gives up on the play. He just doesn't. He just gets in front of you.
He's a bull,
and he just takes the shot. And this guy here on the shot, I don't see Smalling not even challenging. Maybe because he didn't have the speed
energy.
or the energy.
I think he was shocked that he even lost the ball.
He was shocked. I think it was the shock that he lost.
He
the
couldn't
ball.
believe that
went through.
he had been really good this season. To give credit to Smalling, he's guys. If you combine the 2 top goal scorers on Roma, 60% of Roma's goals have come from Dybala and Smalling.
Yeah.
So he's a center back. He made a mistake though.
Yeah,
it was for sure a mistake.
Big. That's why.
No, I definitely made a mistake, and the top goal scorer is gonna punish you, right? Osimhen, I think. Like people might have complaints about him. Without him, Napoli play better. But I think Osimhen offers something that for Napoli, no other player can give, which is, besides his relentlessness, right, where he's a pest, even on the defensive side, he's going to be running after every ball. He's going to be tracking back and fighting for every little thing. So that's a very difficult type of striker to deal with as a defender. Not only is he super fast, he's very physical, he's hungry. And that's exactly what you want in your number 9. Somebody that's hungry, that's ruthless, that has a nose for goal. So he can sometimes be a little unpolished, yes, but he definitely offers something that other Napoli players don't have. As far as the style of play, I agree with you, Marco. They find ways to win. They have so many interchangeable parts with this Napoli team that can really add to how Spalletti wants to build out his attack. Obviously, it all stems from the midfield between that balance of Lobotka and Anguissa, but you also have other players that have come into the mix and have added their part as well. They're solid from defense to attack, and obviously Kvara, we all know the type of player that he is. It was a very tough opponent, Roma, that they really made Napoli have to kind of outwit them or have this physical altercation with this team that you don't want to deal with. But Napoli still were able to find a way to win the game, and these are the important wins that can lead you to a Scudetto. All I can say is, so far, Napoli have been playing great football. It's going to be when they start to not play this great football, how are they able to cope with, and how are they still able to win those games when they don't play?
Like this game.
Yeah, but I think this game, it's kind of expected. But I can accept that.
We got like a sample size.
Yeah, but I think Napoli still were trying to play the game, just that Roma were giving it to them.
So a beautiful tactical game by Spalletti and by Mourinho. Spalletti did not let Spinazzola do anything. He did not let Cardoff do anything. They never went down. They never made a cross.
Did they try to?
And but that's the game of Mourinho. You know,
counter.
He plays. That's the way he plays. 3-4-2-1. That's the way he goes. He goes down the wings and he crosses the ball. So Spalletti knew that and he stopped them. And we never saw a cross.
No shot on target from Roma.
Nothing. Not even a shot. There was not even a shot the whole game. But I think that he knew that he was not. Napoli is a better team.
Yeah.
Okay, they got better players.
He wanted a point from that game.
I think he wanted a tie for this game, and I thought he was going to get the tie because the
energy,
the energy and the pressure that he put on those players. I mean, he said, "I'm going to build a cage around Kvaratskhelia." Kvaratskhelia in the first half, every time he touched the ball, there was somebody sliding. To whether it was a midfielder anywhere, a midfielder, there was a slide by, I don't know if it was Karsdorf or whatever. He slided, he took his legs off, he took his ball, everything. But the pressure that he put from the beginning, I thought, hey, this guy's gonna get a point today, and that's what he was playing for.
So where did it go wrong?
Smalling.
Where did he go? There was this. I think that if Smalling doesn't make that mistake,
it will be a tie.
Yeah, it's a draw.
It's a 0-0 game.
For sure.
I called a 1-1. I had 1-1 from
Mourinho.
So are you with? Are you with Mourinho where he said after the game that they didn't deserve to lose?
Yes, I am.
No.
So explain that.
No, because Napoli played better. Napoli tried. Napoli had shots. Napoli had more occasions to score a goal. I think that Spalletti wanted to win the game more than Mourinho. Okay, you don't take off if you want to win the game. You don't take off Abraham. You got to leave Abraham like Spalletti did. He wanted to win the game. He left Osimhen there.
That's a good point.
Okay.
He wasn't playing good though, Tammy.
That doesn't matter. You want to win the game. Abraham, he could resolve even in the last 5 minutes.
That's a great point.
He could win you the game.
He's so quiet.
If you want to win the game, put two of them.
But Osimhen also wasn't that good before. He missed a one-on-one chance that everyone thought he's going to come out for Raspadori. But I think what you're saying is that he had the courage to leave him in because he knows that he could at one moment.
And remember that on the bench, at one point I saw, and they were right there on the sideline, Raspadori, okay, he was there. Politano was there. Simeone was on the bench. I mean, he had players. I thought Raspadori was going to play for sure.
Me too.
After what he's done in the previous game. But I think he wanted to win that game more than Mourinho.
To me, excuse me, Marco, I think Mourinho had a great game plan. a lot of very good. I mean, I don't like his style of playing, but to stop Napoli, he had a plan, and the plan was just high press, just don't let them turn, just physical game,
that's what I said.
physical game, and you know. Zaniolo, if we connected a little bit better with this Abraham, at some point he had a chance to take a shot and then he put the ball deeper and the guy, I don't know if it was that Zaniolo or somebody else, they couldn't make it. Instead of shooting the ball, he passed the ball too deep. So anyway, aside from that, Napoli didn't have that striking superiority in terms of, the game was more fluid with Napoli, yes. But Rui Patricio didn't make spectacular saves. I mean, there were missed chances by Osimhen, but other than that, I didn't see this big superiority. So a tie for me would have been the just result for the game, just for the physicality that Roma.
I really disagree.
Just for the physicality that Roma demonstrated and the will to take the game and put the Napoli under pressure.
So the one thing to touch with Osimhen, I give Spalletti so much credit for keeping Osimhen on, because I think any manager, any of us, were calling for Raspadori to come on in that moment. And that goes down to a good man manager. That goes down to every week knowing your player, when to push and when to pull. And I think he knew that Osimhen, this was a moment where even if he was missing those chances, he knew that he was capable of that and that he needed to be left on. Because to Osimhen's credit, he's the most team player. You never see a guy supporting his teammates like him. You never see a guy chasing down players and believing in every single ball, even when it's out, like him. So that's why he left him on, because he could sense that, for me, the only way Roma was going to win was a mistake in defense from Juan Jesus or a set piece. That's almost the way that Napoli were able to win, with this mistake. And Spalletti believed in Osimhen, who chases down mistakes to put the ball into the back of the net. From Roma's side, listen, first half, I did like the game plan. This is the only game plan that they could have played, because if you try to play with Napoli,
you would have got burned.
Bye-bye. 4-0. You would not be able to play if you give them space. Kvara didn't even have a real match, and they were still able to win. Roma, the thing is, when you don't even get a result, and then you play that way, and you come away with nothing, what are you left with, is my question.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You didn't really have a style, because if Napoli lose that game off a set piece, right, we could all reflect on it and say, okay, but they found spaces. This player was moving this way. They did the right things defensively. Now when Roma loses game, what is the reflection? Because their only game plan was just to try to stop Napoli.
Yeah, no, but it was nearly there. If Smalling just cleared it out, we wouldn't talking about, Mourinho masterclass. He did it. He knew he didn't have the same amount of players to complete with Napoli, so he did what he does best and get a result. So it was more of a one-off thing.
Wouldn't you say like a team relying on that, on not making a mistake and only just hoping that you have a perfect match is not good?
It was nearly done, the match. That's what I'm saying. So it was one small mistake. And Smalling played a fantastic game. He didn't let anything slide. That's why it was such a big thing. I see what Mourinho tried doing, but Spalletti had more cojones to keep it going and actually looking to win the game, rather than Mourinho park the bus trying to stay comfortable, which is understandable. Napoli score, they average like 3 goals a game, so it's not easy to go up against Napoli. But when you fight for every ball, when you go for every play, sometimes the luck goes in your favor, and that's what happened with Napoli.
But they couldn't in the second half. For me, Roma, it wasn't the same as the first half, because the first half I agreed with that, but in the second half I didn't see that, because they were so intense and they were so much energy and always pressing, and then they realized that they couldn't even keep that up.
But what would you have done? First of all, that's the only game plan that you have. All right? Your job is to stop Napoli from just create. And that's what they try to do. They stop the creativity. They try to block Lobotka. They try to drop all the creation, the center, the spine of Napoli. And they try to eliminate Kvara out of the game. What was your game? What would you have done different than what Mourinho did? I think Mourinho did a great job. You know how much I don't like him. I mean, I like him personally. I can have a beer with him. I can go to dinner and all the stuff. I just don't like him, his attitude. But I think Mourinho did a great job.
Okay, so I agree that was the only thing he could do. But then afterwards, to come out and say Napoli didn't deserve to win and we didn't deserve to lose, for me that's kind of crazy.
He was just salty. We know this.
But what I'm saying, it's like, if you really look at the style, your game plan was hoping that you don't make a mistake, whereas not creating. So to say that Napoli didn't deserve to win, for me, Napoli 100% deserve to win for the way that they went about the game, their attitude, the ability to create chances. That's how a team wins a game.
I know, but Marco,
how can you say that they don't deserve to win?
A style.
How is that not deserving of winning?
Just because they were so close and he was annoyed with
just
the
because
facts
you
of it.
played a
Because he
better
was
style.
close. He was this
Look,
close of getting a point.
The tiki-taka
Was that
was
close?
the style of the decade or the century, the last 20 years. At some point, that style failed to produce results. So playing a great style and not be concrete makes you a little bit wondering. Maybe the style is good to view, is beautiful, look at it, but is that
Okay. Last thing. A team that, because he says Roma didn't deserve to lose. If you take 0 shots on target throughout 90 minutes, when you're at home in Rome in front of your home fans, you deserve to lose.
But he wanted a draw. He didn't say he deserved to win. He just said we didn't deserve to lose.
Yeah,
His game plan was a tie, and he almost got it.
When you go out to play for a tie, guess what happens
I get
oftentimes?
that, but that's what he
You lose.
wanted, though. You know
What
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
say?
So that's what I see that
I
point.
agree. I agree with the last remark that you made. You can you had 0 shot on goal.
They're playing at home.
0 shots, guys, at
Playing
home.
at home.
Guys, that's not- that's-
Oh, I'm not saying it's
that his
acceptable,
game
bro.
plan was to tie this game.
Yeah, 100%. That's
and
obvious.
And then if by a luck you get a penalty, you get a like a free kick
Set
from
piece,
outside,
yeah.
Pellegrini can bring it in, and that's it.
Pete, sorry, you too. Why are these big names not showing up then? That brings that, like Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Tammy Abraham. There's a lot of big players that they're not able to create these chances to even have a shot.
Well, they played against a great team, so that's number one. Also, Zaniolo is playing as a forward. To me, the kid, I mean, he's got so much potential. He's got power. He's got the shot. But he doesn't finish. He doesn't score a goal. How
He
many
tried
goals does he score?
He
This
tried
year?
that left shot.
He's
It's
got
a
it.
beautiful
Yeah,
shot. It went
that's
over the
bad.
You know how
crossbar
many
a
times
little
he was
bit.
in front of the goal?
Yeah,
He can't finish it.
I know, it's
So the kid is good, potential, physical. The physical ability. When he takes off down the line, you can't stop him, but he cannot finish. So you got to look at there. You have Bellotti, who has another forward. I don't know. I don't think Bellotti is that player
That guy is
that
not-
can play in this level. And you're missing the best player, which is Dybala. I mean, I think that this team without the creativity of Dybala in the middle,
Toothless, right?
there,
That's
yeah,
tough.
so you need another forward, and you need a big time. And last night I was dreaming, and I was thinking, why don't you get Ronaldo? You know?
For Roma?
Yeah, to
Portugal.
Roma.
Portugal
Will you
connection.
take that headache in your locker room?
Yes,
There we go.
I would take it.
No.
Oh,
and
Well,
God.
Mourinho and Ronaldo.
You are one of those, I'll tell you.
One of what?
He walked out of the field. The man in Manchester, he walked out before the
I
game was
saw
over.
that. That's why I think, what is this? No, this, you
We
do
have to
not.
ask Ryan.
Ryan will give him up. He's
Yeah,
done
Ryan
with,
doesn't-
he's
Ryan
done
doesn't
with
like him
Ronaldo.
anymore.
That's it.
Ryan explains those kind of fans very. He's the type of fan that he loves you to the end of the earth until you do something wrong. Then when he's on your bad list,
shit.
he hates
That's
you.
you can never
That's
come
right.
back
I
on.
think the fans in Manchester,
They're done with him.
they're done with.
They're no,
And
they're
he
fed
can't
up.
even
He's
argue
also
about
done. He's
Champions
also done.
League. He can't argue about Champions League because it's
Damn,
not like he's
not
playing
a-
Champions
With
League at all.
Manchester United.
Hey, why don't you pick him up?
With what money?
We want money. It's going to be for free. Don't worry. I know
Have a
somebody.
salary.
Yeah, at this point, Man United should just loan him out for the 6 months just to get him out of the locker room.
Yeah, Manchester United will pay some of the salary.
So you take him at Roma. That's who you want.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
That's who you want.
That'd be
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
Who
Tell
wouldn't
Mourinho-
want him?
You know
at
Mourinho.
It will make the difference.
Napoli.
Gaetano, make a phone call to Mourinho.
You said who would've
you
won
met
him, I think.
Mourinho.
What?
You met Mourinho. Make him a phone call.
Well, they know him, but I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I
friends,
mean,
right?
the
Portuguese connection.
Mourinho and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They were Real Madrid together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if
They won a couple of championships, but I don't think they won the Champions League.
they won La Liga for sure against that Barcelona side because I remember it was like a crazy battle between them.
No
No
Champions
Champions
No,
League.
they won the Liga.
Maybe
okay.
it's time for Roma.
We'll see. What else we got to talk about? Juventus, they won. Rabiot scored 2 goals.
Wow.
You know what's
So
crazy?
impressed.
Rabiot scored 6 goals in his first 3 years at Juventus. He scored 4 goals already this season.
He wants a contract.
There we go. I was gonna say that.
That's what they said.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, we also made an interesting stat for the for all the Napoli doubters too. So this statistic was points versus the big 7 clubs. So all the teams, when they faced the top 7 teams, out of 9 points, Napoli won all of them. So 9 out of 9. Milan, out of 12 points, they got 7 points. Lazio, out of 9 points, they got 6 points. Atalanta, out of 9 points, 4 points. Roma, out of 12 points, 4 points. Juventus, out of 6 points, 1 point. And Inter, out of 9 points, 0 points.
Wow.
Anyone have anything about Juventus?
Wow.
That's a big.
You know, Juventus is still a project. It's a project in constant evolution because you know, you don't know at any time who's going to show up on the field, whether it's Chiesa week this week or it's going to be next week, or whether Milik is going to play or whether somebody else is going to play. Right now, Juventus has been a plug-in machine. Okay, we don't have those 3 today. Let's put those 3. This one year, next week, we're going to try this guy on this position. So hopefully now this week you're going to have Chiesa, right? Chiesa, I think, is part of the group. Didn't he? Or not yet? Okay, see, you read the paper, you hear something. You talk to Peter, you hear something else. So
You just make it
So Chiesa,
all right.
so Chiesa, they were hoping to have him for tomorrow for the match against Benfica.
That's what I thought.
They thought they were going to have him for Empoli. Not worth to rush him. They did play a game the following day. It was a Saturday against, I think, the youth team. He scored 2 goals in 45 minutes, Chiesa, just to get running. Mm-hmm. They said that he looks good, but they don't want to rush him to do anything before he's capable. So, again, he trained with the team yesterday, but he's not going to be fit to play against Benfica. He's not even called up to the match. For Juventus, the thing that I would say is, I think the only real takeaway that I have is that the team looks like they've united themselves in terms of the players. I think that I really don't believe that they love Allegri, all of them. I do think it was a divided locker room, but I think they've all come together and said, guys, listen, forget about whether we agree with him, whether we like his training sessions. Mm-hmm. We need to all be together because the results that we're doing right now are not acceptable. Let bygones be bygones, come together. And I think you're seeing a team that is putting those pieces together. But let's not forget, they played against the Torino, like I said then, they would not score a goal if they played that game another 3 times with the players on the pitch. And they played an Empoli side that Empoli is, since Zanetti came, I don't like how Empoli plays. Completely different than them last year. So don't get too excited that Juventus is back after just winning 2 games like this, because we also saw the same thing when they won 3-0 against Monza, and then they beat Maccabi Haifa, and then we know how things proceeded. The only good thing I could say is that on the horizon, the positivity is there in terms of by the time November 6th, the hope is that against Inter, they'll have everybody back. Chiesa, Pogba, Bremer, and Di Maria. Then you could see and you could judge the real team, get into this break, this World Cup break, with as little damage as possible.
They should wait till after the World Cup.
I keep waiting, but the week go by and then you play for 10 minutes, 15, and then they break down again. Yeah. But talking about Juventus, last night I was watching LA Galaxy against LAFC, and there were 3 Juventus players playing.
Douglas Costa, Cáceres, and Chiellini.
Yeah.
I just found out that Cáceres played at LA Galaxy or LA Galaxy.
Juventus got to send a couple more players to LA Galaxy now, the way they've been playing.
Well, they got eliminated. Chiellini only played in the final, right?
Yeah, he played the last 5 minutes.
How come?
I don't know.
Do you know, Pete?
Yeah, he's done.
Do you know Pete?
Do you know? What else is there to know?
Is he not fit?
They were going back and forth.
No, he's fit, but they have the other defenders right now, so physically.
But
really?
When it came down to the nitty-gritty,
Oh yeah, Chiellini. I always say Chiellini.
Yeah, Anto's a huge fan of him.
There was a video that went out like a couple weeks ago. They were fighting. LAFC were fighting, and Chiellini was stopping the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's changed.
Yeah,
that's maturity.
It's a fire stopper. A fight stopper. Sorry. It's a fight stopper.
A firefighter?
Yeah, fire stopper. Fight stopper, right? That's what you say. You stop to the fight.
Fight stopper?
Yeah, fight stopper.
A fight stopper. Okay, gotcha.
Fire.
There were also one more thing. The list of highest paid managers came out. I'm going to read them, and then you guys tell me who's the most overpaid manager.
Allegri.
Allegri 7 million, Mourinho 7 million, Inzaghi 5.5, Pioli 4 million, Sarri 3 million, Spalletti 3 million, Gasperini 2.2, Thiago Motta 2 million, Juric 2, Italiano 1.7, Cioffi 1, Dionisi 850k, Nicola 800, Stankovic 700, Zanetti 600, Gotti 500, Baroni 450k, Sotil 300, Palladino 200. Alvini was not disclosed.
Jeez.
Which is the
Sotil
highest
300.
paid and the most underpaid.
Allegri most overpaid.
Overpaid. And doesn't even pay for his girlfriend's friend. Hello, Allegri.
I knew that was coming.
Hello.
I knew that was coming.
Too much money. Too much money.
Right. It's Allegri. I mean, you don't even have to.
I agree.
Even Allegri agrees.
Underpaid?
Underpaid, I would say...
Nicola.
no, l'allenatore dell'Udinese.
Sotil?
Eh,
300k?
It's still early.
300k for Sotil.
Gaetano is in 10th place.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gaetano.
800k.
Yeah.
How much? 800?
Wait, sorry. Who do we say? Yeah, Nicola, 800. Yeah.
Sotil,
I agree with
300,000, man.
Take some of the salary from Allegri and give it to him.
Take more than half of it.
Oh, if Palladino saves Monza, 200,000 is a fair price.
Oh, God.
That's a really good price. Pioli, I thought he would be higher by now. Only 4 million. He
4
just won the
million
league.
for him is too much money.
Spalletti needs to increase immediately.
Also, Thiago Motta, he just took over. How's he getting 2 million?
Yeah.
He has a demand.
Did you see Aston Villa? They got what's a coach from Villarreal's name? He coached Arsenal.
Emery, right?
Emery. You know how much he's getting a year? Take a guess.
11.
11. Aston Villa.
6.
7 million.
That's a lot of money.
A team like Aston Villa.
That's crazy.
Well, England,
I know.
They're less
every
than
team makes
mid-table.
100 million
They're
just
less than
on
mid-table.
TV rights.
Unbelievable. It's crazy.
Wow,
Anything
that's
else?
insane.
Is that it?
What do you say, Mike?
I'll give one final one for Anto. Last season, Brahim Diaz scored a total of 3 goals. This season, he already has 4.
Congratulations,
so CDK,
Anto.
get comfortable on that bench, Paisa.
Hey, you know what he said the other day? I said, Ando,
What did I say? He's gonna say something bad
No,
about
he
it,
said,
of course.
don't I look like Brahim Diaz? He said it.
When
He
did I
looks
say
like Brahim
that?
Diaz.
I never said that.
I think Mike wishes he looked like Brahim Diaz.
I never
I said,
said
you might
when
look
did
a
I
little
say
bit like
that?
him, but you don't know how to play. That's
I
the
never
problem.
said that.
Yes, you did.
Well, no, I didn't. Why would I say I look like Brahim Diaz?
Hey,
Why are you
Nick.
Oh, we got Mr. Molinari
I never
behind
even
the camera.
said his name.
Molinari
He
didn't say
said it.
hello.
It's on the record. He
I
said
never
that.
said that. Why are you lying?
Also,
talking about?
guys, comment down below. We're going to do our Halloween episode next week. We think that we're going to do legends. Legends, Serie A legends. History of the league. It could be current guys, too, if you really want to. You want to do a current player that's made
Well,
history?
as them, let's do a poll maybe.
Exactly.
We'll have them do
Go,
a
Pete.
poll like. No, I mean goal.
Polar Paul.
No, poll.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll ask them to leave comments. What should Antonio be? What should
That's a
Peter
good
be?
one. That's a good one.
And then we'll do a poll with like the top 4 or whatever it is.
And we'll go from
We'll do a
there.
poll on a story, and then we have to.
Man, Pete, you're good at this.
Can
huh?
let me give a little hint as to what we're thinking already. We were saying Mike to be Cassano
I still don't understand. Look at the guy. That I was like, what?
because Mike understands Cassano really well, and he's gonna wind Antonio up.
I can do
Cassano
that.
being Mike being Cassano will piss Antonio off so much. Antonio was thinking, who are you gonna be, Agnelli or Allegri?
Allegri.
Allegri.
No, Agnelli. I'm Agnelli.
You're Agnelli. To redo our little shtick
If
that
I'm
we had
Cassano, I'm
going
gonna have a
on.
jar with my brain on it next week. Look already. The episode.
Peter,
is
who are you
start.
gonna be?
I don't know. Who could I be?
I thought you had somebody in mind, somebody funny.
Someone funny?
I thought you did. And that you can't be Saudi again. We already made that decision. You tried to be Saudi like
He's like,
7 years in a
damn
row.
Let him be Mourinho this time. Yeah, Mourinho. He takes notes too. I saw him. I saw Mourinho taking notes.
Capello. Mourinho's more relevant.
It's got to be
right?
somebody that's a character.
Yeah.
You got it. That's the
Take it
rules,
to-
guys. It has to be somebody who we could actually act as and like have some fun with. That's the biggest rule, I think.
We should do a little
Homework.
homework, a little bet. You know, if you lose, you gotta pay everyone's steak steakhouse.
Are you asking the
We're asking the people.
Yeah, well,
yes.
ask the peeps.
Let us know next week.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.